A leading investment expert has defended the Brexit solution for Northern Ireland against criticism. The agreement between the British government and the EU has great potential to strengthen the economy in the former Civil War region. That was said by the CEO of the consulting firm OCO Global, Gareth Hagan, at the start of an investment summit in Belfast. Northern Ireland is the only place with duty-free market access to both the EU and Great Britain, and is also the only British region whose exports have grown in the last 3 years, despite leaving the EU and the pandemic. Great Britain and the EU agreed on a compromise in March after a long dispute over special Brexit rules for Northern Ireland. This means that food and medicine can be easily exported from the rest of the UK to Northern Ireland. However, uncompromising supporters of the union with Great Britain are fighting with all their might against any influence of the EU on Northern Ireland. Therefore, there is currently no functional regional government. But the Windsor Agreement is an elegant solution, is what Hagan told the German press agency. Exports to the neighbouring EU country Ireland have risen sharply, but more goods and services are also being sold to the rest of the UK. Small economies could be successful if they presented themselves as agile and innovative. The region is still nowhere near as advanced as Singapore or Dubai, but the potential is huge. Over the past 20 years, the technology sector has grown significantly and attracted foreign direct investment from countries such as the USA. The industry offers skilled workers at comparatively low costs. However, the political vacuum remains a serious problem, as the expert emphasized. Stability and security are important prerequisites, especially for foreign direct investments. The multi-day investment summit presented Northern Ireland in the global spotlight, but the lack of political leadership is embarrassing and frustrating for most people. Just think of how good we could be, he said. All pieces of the puzzle are available and just need to be arranged. Well, the Democratic Unionist Party, the DUP, is blocking the formation of a new government in Northern Ireland in officially protest at the Northern Ireland Protocol, which is part of the Brexit agreement agreed between the UK and the EU. The protocol keeps Northern Ireland aligned with some EU trade rules to ensure goods can move freely across the Irish land border. However, the DUP argues that the protocol creates a trade border between Northern Ireland and the rest of the UK, which undermines Northern Ireland's place within the UK. The DUP has said that it will not nominate ministers to the Northern Ireland executive unless the UK government takes decisive action to change the protocol. Well, the UK government has said that it wanted to renegotiate the protocol, but the EU had refused, so it came to the Windsor framework. But the blockade by the DUP has left Northern Ireland without a functioning government since February. And this has created a number of problems, including the inability to make decisions on important issues such as health, education and infrastructure. The UK government once had warned that it would trigger Article 16 of the protocol that would have allowed unilateral suspension of parts of the agreement, but that didn't in the end lead to a trade war with the EU. It led to the Windsor framework. And the situation in Northern Ireland is currently deadlocked, and it's unclear how it's resolved because the UK government is under pressure from both the DUP and Sinn Féin to find a solution, but so far it has been unable to do so. The Windsor framework was a solution to a lot of issues with the Northern Ireland Protocol, but there is no one now with overall power in Northern Ireland because the Northern Ireland Assembly is still in session, but it cannot make any decisions without the participation of the DUP. And the Northern Ireland Civil Service is still operating, but it's limited in what it can do without the approval of the executive. The UK government has also said that it will step in to provide some services that are normally the responsibility of the Northern Irish government. The situation is likely to remain unstable until the DUP agrees to form a government or the UK government takes steps to resolve the issues with the DUP. because the UK government is responsible for Northern Ireland's affairs, but it cannot force the DUP to form a government. But the UK government has said that it is willing to talk to the DUP, but it hasn't helped so far. The last election in Northern Ireland was held on May 5th in 2022. And the results were different this time. The Sinn Féin got 27 seats, the DUP got 25 seats, the Alliance Party got 17 seats, the Ulster Unionist Party 9 seats, the SDLP 8 seats, and others got 4 seats. And so Sinn Féin became the largest party for the first time, winning 27 seats. And this gave them the right to nominate the First Minister of Northern Ireland. However, the DUP has refused to nominate a deputy First Minister, blocking the formation of a new government. Not to forget, the Alliance Party made significant gains, winning 17 seats. This was the party's best ever result in an assembly election. The UUP and the SDLP both lost seats. The turnout in the election was 62.8%, and this was slightly lower than the turnout in the 2017 election. But it's good to have elections there, but not to have a government after such a long time after elections is just, as I quoted earlier, embarrassing. But if you want to know more, the next video is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.